Kids come into this world with so much potential. If we could get to a place where our society is creating the best potential out of every person, every kid, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Launch Northwest uses the incentive of a Promise Scholarship to create wraparound services to make sure that every child in our region has the opportunity to pursue their post-secondary pursuits and their career that they want.
I was, a little second grader. I didn't know much, but as time went on, here I am. Reach has been there to support me the entire time.
Well, it definitely helped economically. It did make the process a lot easier. It was a huge help to have all the help I had.
I don't like to think about what would have happened if Reach wasn't there for me. Having an after-school program, away from the usual teacher with someone who I had throughout the years, basically looking out for me, it really helped.
I want us to be able to say to our children, you're important enough for us to invest in you and invest in you differently than we've invested before. It is really important that it's about the pathway and it's not about the destination. We've identified the pathway and have broken down the barriers along that pathway for our young people.
Kids who aren't used to navigating a system and don't necessarily have the support system to navigate it, that's it, it's a barrier. Anything we could do, as a community that covers that gap for them, I guarantee they'll be successful.
The Carl Maxey Center came into existence because there's a need in Spokane to address racial disparities, particularly in the Black community in Spokane. That's what Launch Northwest is going to do, is make sure that folks who traditionally have barriers to being able to access education and upward mobility and economic improvement and empowerment have the ability to do that.
I got a lot of support, a lot of emotional support. I probably would be a pretty big mess right now.
We just want to create the excitement and energy behind this program to make sure that every single student has a clear pathway to post-secondary education.
A lot of kids, they don't think they have enough money to go to college or to a trade school, so they just go straight into working. It doesn't necessarily give them the best shot to have a sustainable income and a sustainable life in Spokane.
It's not just about the money, because that's just one barrier. There's lots of barriers. The more support, physical support that we can give students to help them, guide them, the better off we'll be.
1 in 3 families in our community is economically insecure, living on $50,000 or less. They're just trying to figure out how to pay rents, to keep the electricity on, and to put food on the table.
I grew up with a single mother. I did not have a lot of money when I was younger. My mom worked really, really hard to get to where we are now.
Our kids and my kids are going to be taken care of, and someone has an invested interest in their future is incredible.
Hispanic students, traditionally, their resources are limited from their family, and it's so rewarding to see a student come in and say, I'm the first in my family to go and do something, rather than to repeat the cycle of being a field laborer.
In 10 years from now, we're going to be celebrating families who are proud of how they have helped their children, how they have been empowered to change the trajectory of their family, to change the trajectory of our communities.
One of the things that the Carl Maxey Center focuses on is economic development. One of the keys to economic development is education. It just is.
From an economic development perspective, it will help with expanding our talent pool. The demographic drought that we're all going through right now, there's no short-term solution to it. So we're going to have to grow our own. And this is one of the best ways to do it.
In other communities that have these types of post-secondary promise programs, it's definitely a recruitment tool, recruiting businesses to our economy, but also when we think about the businesses that are here and the ability to grow our own talent. Talent is the #1 thing on the mind of most employers.
Over 70% of the jobs in Washington State and in North Idaho require some education beyond high school. We have a gap in the demand of our local businesses, in the skills that they need, and the skilled workforce. And so we need to close that gap. We need to, as a community, be investing in those opportunities to upskill our local community so that we can meet the workforce demands of our region. What makes this initiative successful is that it is taking a Promise Scholarship and partnering it with the community supports to get students and families across the finish line.
What this community and I think this region has shown time and time again is that when we come together with a goal in mind for dreaming big, particularly one that involves our kids, we've been able to do pretty incredible things.
For all the kids that are going to grow up essentially receiving what I got. The numbers with the REACH program don't lie, it's successful.
It's going to impact thousands of students and thousands of families, and I cannot wait to see the impact that this has on Eastern Washington and North Idaho.
Launch Northwest, with all the components that it has, it'll help us increase the go-on rate, it'll help us retain them in college, and it'll help us get them out of college so that they can reach their full potential.
I don't participate in things that I don't believe in. So if I'm here, then I believe in it, and I'm willing to see it through.
Everybody has hardships, no matter who you are. You're gonna have hardships. Giving us hope, giving kids hope to want to push through those hardships and want to get a higher education and actually pursue something that you want to do is very, very important.
What Launch Northwest wants to do in a combined collaborative effort towards this one common goal of everybody getting to get to their passion, this is what we should be doing. This is what our job is as adults to our next generation. This is our job.
This is big, but we are a community that does big things. From Expo 74 to Bloomsday to Hoop Fest to our recent medical school. And in 2024, we'll be celebrating the 50-year anniversary of Expo. That is the same year that we will be announcing the first Promise scholarships and the class of 2024 and investing in the next 50 years of our community.
Think about this as the next big thing in this community that transforms our local economy, that creates opportunities for our children, that creates prosperity for families and individuals and businesses. This community loves to think big. Why would we want to think small?